In the peaceful village of Noorabad, surrounded by lush green hills and tall whispering trees, lived a boy named Arshman. He was only 8 years old, a little shorter than most boys his age, and often shy. But what he lacked in size, he made up for in something much greater, the kindness and courage in his heart. Arshman lived with his grandmother, whom he lovingly called Nano. His parents had passed away in a tragic accident when he was just a baby. Since then, Nano raised him with stories of honesty, bravery, and compassion. Their small house was always filled with laughter, blooming flowers, and the aroma of warm roti. Each morning, Arshman would wake up early. While other children rushed to school, still rubbing sleep from their eyes, he would water Nano's garden, feed the birds, and share his breakfast with a stray puppy he had named Bolu. He helped neighbors carry heavy bags, picked up litter from the village square, and always had a kind word for everyone. "Why do you always help everyone?" his friend Sammy once asked. Arshman simply smiled and replied, "Because when we help others, our hearts grow bigger." One day, dark clouds gathered above Noorabad. The wind howled, leaves flew, and the sky roared with thunder. A terrible storm was approaching. The village elder stood in the center of the square, shouting, "Everyone, go inside! A dangerous storm is coming." People rushed into their homes, locking doors and pulling animals to safety. Inside his house, Arshman sat with Bolu in his lap while Nano lit a small lantern. Rain started pouring down like silver arrows from the sky. Suddenly, there was a loud crash outside. A tree had fallen near the main road, and somewhere in the distance, a goat bleated in panic. Arshman jumped to his feet. "Nano, I think someone's in trouble." Nano gently held his hand. "No, Beta, it's dangerous out there. Stay inside." But Arshman's heart was pounding, not with fear, but with the urge to help. He looked at Nano and softly said, "I'll be careful, I promise." Before she could stop him, he wrapped himself in his small raincoat, opened the door, and stepped into the storm. Bolu followed closely behind. Outside, the rain soaked through his shoes, and the wind pushed him like a bully, but he kept going. Near the broken fence, a group of frightened chickens huddled together. Carefully, he guided them into a shed and closed the door. He heard someone groaning near the road. It was old Chacha Rafiq, lying in the mud, his walking stick broken beside him. "Chacha." Arshman ran to him, slipping but quickly getting up. He helped the old man sit up and supported him all the way to a nearby shelter. "Thank you, Beta," Chacha Rafiq said, shivering. "No one else came." Arshman smiled gently. "You're not alone, Chacha. We take care of each other." Suddenly, Bolu barked loudly and tugged at Arshman's sleeve. The little dog led him toward the village well. There, trapped under a fallen branch, was a baby goat, crying for help. Arshman rushed to it. The branch was heavy, but he pushed with all his might. His small arms trembled, but he didn't give up. Finally, the branch rolled off, and the goat ran free. Soaked, muddy, and exhausted, Arshman smiled and whispered to Bolu, "We did it." The next morning, the storm was gone. The sun rose brightly over Noorabad. People stepped out to see the damage, fallen trees, broken fences, and scattered leaves. But something strange had happened. Their animals were safe. Chacha Rafiq was resting with a warm blanket. The baby goat was with its mother again. "Who did this?" villagers asked one another. Then someone pointed toward the steps of the village mosque. There lay little Arshman, fast asleep with Bolu curled beside him. A soft shawl covered them, placed there by someone who had passed by. The villagers were speechless. Later that day, everyone gathered in the village square. At the center stood the wise chief, Malik Baba, his eyes filled with emotion. "Last night," he said, "a boy who could have hidden like the rest of us chose to be brave. He helped our animals, saved an elder, and showed us what true courage looks like. He walked over to Arshman, took his small hand, and said, "You reminded us that it's not size or age that makes someone a hero. It's the size of their heart." The crowd erupted in applause. Tears rolled down Nano's cheeks, but her face shined with pride. From that day forward, everyone in Noorabad called Arshman the heart of Noorabad. Years passed. Arshman grew up, but he never stopped helping others. He started a school in the village, not just for reading and writing, but for teaching values of kindness, courage, and empathy. Above the chalkboard in his classroom, in golden letters, a message was painted. Big hearts change the world. If you like this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more heart-touching stories like this. And remember, no act of kindness is ever too small. You too can be a hero, just like Arshman.